Couple of numbers to talk about. We have Sun Pharma, which came out with its Q3 performance just a couple of days ago. It was better than estimates as it reported healthy growth in sales across the US, India, as well as the global specialty business. In fact, Q3 was the best ever quarter for the global specialty sales. I did catch up with Mr. Muralidharan, who's the group CFO of the company, and began by asking him on what is driving the growth within the specialty segments. Listen in.
For the quarter, excluding the milestone, 276 million growth of 24% year-on-year. The products across all the specialty products, Ilumya, Sequa, all the products have a broad-based growth that has contributed to the overall good performance of global specialty sales.
Okay. What then is the run rate expected for the specialty segment? When can we probably hit $300 million? When would it probably sustain on a quarterly basis?
So if you look at the 9-month YTD December global specialty revenues on a consolidated basis, we have done about $768 million with a growth of 22.4%. And you compare that with the previous year full FY 22-23, we had done about $871 million. So I think we are in good position to further gain momentum in this business and continue to perform well across various products in the segment.
All right. What is the status of the drug for alopecia? We do understand that it could probably, start adding to revenues by FY25, FY26, and it could probably even become a $200 million product. Your thoughts on that, and what is the timeline of launch?
So we already shared the PDUFA date is somewhere in July of this current year, 24. On approval, we are on track or plan to launch on approval. However, at this point of time, as we mentioned in the call also, that we will be unable to share any peak sales estimate for this product at this point of time.
Okay. The company said that Revlimid generic contribution was limited. Why is that, and do you expect it to scale up?
The generic Revlimid sales has been episodic as such, which we already shared earlier. So as you rightly said, in the current quarter, it was quite negligible to the overall consolidated revenues.
Okay, but why is that?
That's how the market is overall panned out and structured, you can say.
Okay. What about the US-based business? How did it perform? What was price pressure like this quarter? And what are you guiding on? Because we do understand price pressure is down to around single digits as compared to double digits same time last year.
US generic business, as you're aware, in terms of price pressures, it may continue to remain very competitive. And as we have made in the past, the pricing also is a function of the product specific in which you participate at this point of time. We are reasonably satisfied with the overall performance US generic business in the current quarter.
Okay. For Taro, what can we expect, say, on the delisting process? When could it probably be completed?
So the Taro transaction process on at this point of time, we had signed a definitive merger agreement with them to buy the remaining stake that we doesn't own as on date. The agreed price of $43 per share will deliver approximately 48% premium to the price that was prevailing on May 25, 2023. However, the merger agreement is subject to various closing conditions, including shareholders' approval. So we'll have to wait and watch in terms of how this will pan out as and when the shareholders' meeting of Taro happens.
Okay, but if in case the delisting does go through, what are the synergies that you expect between the two businesses? How do you think, say, blended margins would pan out, revenue?
Taro being a public company, I think it will be fair for us to first to cross the finishing line of closing the transaction, assuming we have a favorable verdict from the shareholders' meeting of Taro. And then probably we will look at in terms of how we should take it forward.
Okay. India picked up to 11% growth. This was after 5 quarters of what was a lackluster performance. What is your guidance in terms of India? You're guiding for, I think, high single-digit growth. What do you expect in terms of the India growth? What do you expect going into FY25?
So India business in Q3, you're right, did about 11.4% growth year on year. It's a broad-based performance across various therapeutic segments. our always aim has been to do better than the market growth. And more important, which we also shared in the call, is that this strong performance is supported by the underlying volume growth when you compare to the Indian pharmaceutical market, where the growth is majorly driven by price.
Okay. Well, margins on an adjusted basis were around 26%. Is this a steady state going forward?
So we are not actually guiding for EBITDA margins. We remain focused on cost efficiencies across the organization. And another important thing is that while expenses of newly acquired business like Concert, others have been consolidated. However, if you look at the last 12 quarters, our margins have been in the range of 25 to 26% plus. And more importantly, our key growth drivers like global specialty business, or you take even India business apart from other businesses, they maintain strong growth momentum, which is overall contributing factor for the resultant EBITDA margins.
Okay. Well, lastly, so, if you could just wrap up this conversation with a guidance on Halol as well as Mohali when it comes to a remediation. Have you heard anything back from the US FDA? What is the timeline of remediation?
So at this point of time, as we shared earlier, we both in respect of Halol and Mohali, we are working on the remediation process and we are waiting for an update from the regulatory authorities. And we will be unable to give any further updates as to when the regulators would come for re-inspection.
All right. And can you give us an update with regards to the Dadra facility? You all did get multiple observations on that site. What is the status of remediation and maybe US FDA action on it?
So as far as the Dadra facility is concerned, it currently remains in an approved status. That's what I can say. And we continue to supply to the market from where the facility used to supply earlier.
Right, that was the conversation that Ekta had with the management of Sun Pharma. The stock up 1.2%. Looking good for the market, though marginally off record highs. Nifty holding around that 22,050 odd mark. Take a short break, come back, get you more on the markets and a bunch of stocks.